The pillow, an object so ordinary and so familiar that most people give it little thought, has in fact one of the longest and most curious histories of all household items. Its evolution is deeply connected to human comfort, health, culture, and even symbolism. To understand the pillow is to take a slow, detailed journey through the centuries, from the earliest days of human civilization, through the empires of the ancient world, across medieval households, into the Renaissance chambers of Europe, and finally into the modern bedrooms of the 21st century. The earliest records of pillows date back thousands of years, to ancient Mesopotamia, around 7,000 years ago. The Sumerians, who developed one of the first complex societies, used pillows not as soft and fluffy objects, but rather as solid supports made of stone. These early pillows were designed not for comfort in the modern sense, but rather to elevate the head slightly above the sleeping surface, which was often the bare ground or a mat. The purpose was practical, to prevent insects and crawling creatures from entering the ears, nose, or mouth of a sleeper. Elevation was safety. The pillow, therefore, began not as a luxury, but as a device of survival. In ancient Egypt, pillows were also crafted from stone, wood, or ivory. Egyptians believed that the head was the seat of spiritual life, and protecting it during sleep was of immense importance. Wooden headrests were commonly placed under the neck, not to cushion the head in softness, but to preserve spiritual balance and to maintain elaborate hairstyles that were carefully constructed each day. For wealthier Egyptians, headrests were carved with intricate designs and sometimes buried with the dead, indicating that the pillow held ritual significance in the journey into the afterlife. China, too, developed its own tradition of pillows very early on. There, pillows were often made of hard materials, wood, bamboo, porcelain, or even bronze. Far from being an item of plush comfort, the Chinese pillow was associated with health. The belief was that soft pillows could drain vitality and energy, while harder surfaces supported proper posture and preserved strength. Some porcelain pillows were beautifully painted with decorative patterns, flowers, or calligraphy. They were both functional and artistic, an intersection of health practice and aesthetics. Greece and Rome, however, began to popularize the idea of the pillow as something soft. Wealthy Greeks and Romans stuffed their pillows with reeds, feathers, or straw. They used them not only for sleeping, but also for reclining during banquets and discussions. Roman couches were often lined with pillows to support leisurely conversation, reading, or dining. To own many soft pillows was a sign of wealth and refinement. The tradition of the soft pillow, as opposed to the stone or wooden headrest, spread gradually through the Mediterranean world. During the Middle Ages in Europe, pillows became associated with class distinction. Among peasants and lower classes, pillows were rare, considered unnecessary luxuries. People slept on simple straw bedding, with perhaps a folded piece of cloth under the head. Nobles and clergy, however, continued to use pillows as a mark of wealth. Some medieval texts even suggest that pillows were at times criticized as signs of weakness or indulgence. Kings and queens, however, ignored such criticism, surrounding themselves with richly embroidered cushions and bolsters. The Renaissance period brought an expansion of textiles and a growing market for household goods. Pillows became more common among the middle classes, particularly as weaving and fabric production advanced. Embroidery flourished, and pillows were often decorated with family crests or symbolic patterns. In some households, pillows became prized possessions, passed down from one generation to the next. The growth of the pillow industry mirrored the general growth of domestic comfort in Renaissance Europe. By the 17th and 18th centuries, pillows were found in many European homes, though their quality varied widely. In wealthier families, pillows were stuffed with feathers, often goose down, which provided softness and insulation. Poorer households continued to rely on straw or chaff. The introduction of cotton and the expansion of global trade changed pillow production significantly, making softer and more hygienic fabrics widely available. In the 19th century, during the Industrial Revolution, pillows became mass-produced for the first time. Factories in England, France, and later in America manufactured pillows on a large scale. Advances in textile machinery meant that pillowcases could be made in great numbers, with standardized shapes and sizes. The pillow, once a rare item of luxury, became a common household staple. Nearly every home in Europe and North America had pillows by the end of the 1800s. The 20th century brought new innovations. Synthetic fibers and foams were introduced, changing the pillow forever. Polyester filling, memory foam, and latex expanded the choices available to consumers. Specialized pillows emerged: orthopedic pillows for neck support, body pillows for side sleepers, wedge pillows for medical conditions. Marketing emphasized comfort, health, and even luxury once again. The pillow was no longer just a household item. It was a product of science, advertising, and consumer demand. In cultures around the world, the pillow adapted to local needs and traditions. In Japan, small wooden or ceramic headrests continued to be used into the modern era, particularly among geishas who needed to protect elaborate hairstyles. In parts of Africa, carved wooden headrests serve both as sleeping supports and as portable furniture, often carried by travelers. In South America, woven textiles were used as folded pillows, combining bedding and cushion in one. Today, the global pillow market is vast. People can choose from inexpensive synthetic pillows to luxury goose-down models costing hundreds of dollars. Specialized pillows are sold for travel, meditation, pregnancy, or even for hugging while sleeping. Yet the essential purpose has changed very little since the time of Mesopotamia: to elevate and support the head during rest. The story of the pillow is, in many ways, a mirror of human civilization itself. It reflects the rise of social classes, the influence of religion, the impact of trade and industry, and the evolution of science and health. What began as a stone tool to keep away insects has become a symbol of comfort, luxury, and personal care. And as we consider this long history, stretching from stone headrests in ancient Egypt to porcelain pillows in China, to feather pillows in Europe, and finally to memory foam in the modern bedroom, we realize that the pillow has always been more than an object of sleep. It is a witness to our daily lives, quietly present in every household, every culture, every century. The next time you lay your head upon a pillow, whether soft or firm, ordinary or luxurious, remember that you are participating in a tradition as old as civilization itself, a tradition of comfort, safety, and silent companionship that has lasted for thousands of years and will surely continue for many more.